Hi everyone. So I was just thinking about a new idea that came to my mind. I actually wrote it down on my union book back in my vehicle, and basically what it is like a water self-watering bowl, self-watering bowl. Um, Look at images for that, and I was thinking about this a few days ago because there's a swamp not too far from here, and basically it allows people to grow rice, and then there's I was looking at some foods plants that will grow in water, and there's a bunch of them. Now, what I was thinking was to take this and enlarge it on a big scale, where you could do it in your backyard, but it will be above ground like a pool, and um, maybe you could get like a kids swimming pool, right? Something like this, and like this, and then what you could do is you could put maybe some some of those retaining wall stones or the brick wall um, concrete blocks and just put them underneath that so it could be above ground, and so it will always be filled up with water, and you could add you know like the 5 gallon buckets, or I was thinking more like a something round, and then in the center you could have like something like the 5 gallon bucket um, idea, or you could have a self watering thing like this, like with a pump. So it all varies on what you want to do, but this will allow people that want to grow stuff in their backyards um, the opportunity. And I guess like this looks like it's like the same idea, but for some reason I was thinking along the dog bowl idea, and yeah, something like this. That's what I was kind of thinking. Something round where you could walk around it. Maybe this could be like 3 feet high or something, and you could You could even put soil, add soil in there. Um, grow carrots. Um, and the root will be able to shoot down. I don't know, but yeah, it was just an idea that came to my mind, honestly, and there's stuff out there, obviously already, but I don't know, like whatever whatever grows in the water will work. Obviously, it says indoors and water. Um, this is not giving me any images yet, but we have carrot greens, green onion, bok choy, celery, fennel, lettuce, lemongrass, garlic sprout, beet greens. See, so um, not sure who's closer, but yeah. See, I guess it can be done on a small scale, and not just that, but uh, see, there's there's these there's trees with fungus, right? Um, fung fungi or even moss, like this one. No, this is fungi. But I was thinking not fungus, but this would actually be a good idea. So I'll keep this because I can refer back to it. And I was thinking more of moss. So seeing this right here this is a good sign of a you know unaltered forest, something that a lot of people are not in destroying and um, all that stuff, which is good. But see, what I was trying to when I was thinking about this, the dog bowl idea, I was thinking of okay, so you have a tree. Trees don't grow grass on top of them. So I was thinking there has to be dust that settle on the bark. The dust was then watered with the dew at night, and somehow it grew the moss, the grass, you know. And I guess the richer the I guess the more humidity there is, I guess the better it is for the bark. So I was thinking, like if imagine if you were to grab any of these trees and you were to cut a layer of the bark, remove some of the bark, and you were to put it in a like a bowl of water, like the um, like this, where it will always have water. So I was thinking you could have a piece of wood that will float. You could add some dirt on top of it, and that piece of wood will absorb the water from underneath, and therefore it will water the dirt on top, and it will probably grow some of the moss and even fungi, um, and it will probably even keep these little things alive, like the fungus and other stuff that grows, like mushrooms and stuff like that. For those that would be interested in growing stuff like that, not just for growing underwater plants, but like we've seen here in these images, like you have like a swamp type of idea of, and I guess you could have like your own backyard type of thing like this. See how these little flowers float? That would be like the wood. So think about like a boat. Think about like a boat that's above ground. I mean, that's floating on the surface of the water. Now, another way for this to absorb water will be if small holes are drilled into the wood, and then if it act like like a like a bowl, like a food bowl, right, like this, but that will float. So you have dirt in here, you have little minute little holes everywhere where the water seep in, so it'll always be wet, and where nothing could tip it over or mess it up. So now it'll act like these little flowers that are above the water. Now, if someone has like a setup like this with fish and all that, that's even better. Like it will even add to it and make it look really really nice. And then you could introduce um, different type of plants and even like fungi like this. If the sun is not harmful to it, I'm not sure, but it can even be protected. Um, there's many things that you could do. But see, my thing was this here and the moss buildup. The yeah the moss buildup. See how this tree's fallen? I've actually cleaned up some tree debris, and I found some mushrooms and um, you know some stuff, weird looking stuff. Some it looked kind of like a I don't even see it, but it looked like something that you would find in the ocean. But it this layer will peel off, and you could test it with that if it will grow and it will continue to grow. Then if it does, then you could um, you know use that to decorate your stuff. Um, this will also probably work. Like if this is a perfect example right here. If you have like some like a base, and you have some dirt, then you have like from up here down here you have a small stream of water always going through it. Then most likely it'll grow this stuff, and it will add to it'll introduce new styles of decoration to different areas of the world. And I guess designers and stuff like that, people like that can think of new creative ways to implement this type of stuff. Um, but um, but my thinking was more with the water, all like this, and I was thinking, see how these rocks are here? I was thinking this, besides all these bees, but this can be um, like dirt, and that dirt can have um, different types of plants or even like small, minute grass, just to because my friend um, was talking about you know um, making more green, especially like in the desert. But this would be a good way to do that because even the animals and insects can go and get water because they need water as well. And we have pools, swimming pools, but then it's infused basically with chlorine and other chemicals, and you don't really want your dog drinking that, although probably won't die. So that's why you give your pets clean water without any of that stuff. Um, so yeah, like this type of stuff, this thing here can be sold or even made. I think it would be better if it was made first and then obviously tested in different parts of I don't know, like around different places, right? And this can actually be placed like in a shed. So in inside the shed, you have a like a housing, and you have the bowl out here and the water inside. So the water will stay cool, and it'll give it water as it needs throughout the day or whatever. Or it can be self-fed. Um, there's different ways and different things that you know that can be uh, done. But see, like this cat one, that's what I was kind of thinking. The water will come in, and then people will be able to walk around it and like harvest their crop, and they could have different ones with different types of plants or herbs that food that they're trying to grow, and they'll you be able to quickly harvest it, and and even clean it after it's been used if you want, and if it's recommended or not, I'm not sure. But if it is, then that'll be a good way to do it, um, either indoors or outdoors. I guess if it's indoors, it could actually be made out of like porcelain and like the restrooms, and it's easy to clean that. But I don't know how expensive that will be. Um, unless it's like some type of paint that's waterproof and um, you know I don't know, easy to clean and stuff. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share that, and I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Um, although I did think about I was thinking about tiers, and you see how these trees have um, like a ladder effect, and for every thing it has a moss or the moss build up on top of each um, um, branch, right? And I was thinking of all this because I've been flagging um, as traffic control like a national forest, so I see this stuff standing there 8 hours, 12 hours a day. Um, Not every day, but you know, for some days out of the week anyway. And well, anyway, I was thinking this can actually be uh, like a tier type of thing, and it could be like kind of like, I mean, I don't know how to. There's like there's water mills. That, that's like the best way I could explain it, even though it's not like a water mill idea, but it's pretty much like the same idea, the same concept. Um, See, like if you get this, and then um, so imagine you have something that goes up and down, and then down here you have like a something to make it go up or down, um, whether manually or electronically, and this will give you more area um, coverage if you don't have enough room to work in. Maybe you're in the city, um, your space is limited, you want to grow more, but you really can't. So, instead of just growing on one layer, think about like two, three, kind of like stories, like not just a one-story house, but two-story, three-story, four-story, five-story, six-story, that type of idea. So you will have soil with plants, like say, I don't know, whatever you want, tomatoes or whatever. So all all of them are in direct sunlight. So you'll position and build it um, accordingly, and then it'll obviously have to be able to withstand the weight to be able to rotate it. But that, I don't know. I guess it would require a lot of money, stuff like that. And then if you have more than one, um, or if you have a farm of them, I don't know the shading. If I guess they would have to be spaced out accordingly as well. But if they were spaced out, like say every 5 feet radius from one another, I don't know if any type of shading would be good or not. And I guess that could be, uh, I guess that could be researched and studied um, for, say, like a tomato tree or plant. Will it grow better if it has full direct sunlight or partial sunlight, or like when there's a tree above it, and the shading and the light is always shifting back and forth. Is that better than just partial sunlight? You know what I mean? Um, so there's a lot of like variations and tests that can be performed. Um, I guess like I was thinking if it has more of the tree above it, or like a screen, something like that, I think the fruit would, or the vegetable, the tomato will grow much bigger and healthier. Um, because I think it will grow. I'm not sure. I think it would grow better, honestly, if it had no light. But that's just my thing, my theory. Maybe just the leaves, but maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, yeah. So that was another idea for that, and it will basically be like this. So now you have a vertical um, garden, and it's basically like on a chain. So you could move it so it can rotate up and down. And as you rotate it, obviously you have a new set of plants. You can harvest that, rotate it up, another one, rotate it up, and so on. Um, I mean, would that be better than having them on the ground? I mean, I don't know. I guess it all depends on what you're growing. Um, I guess if, like, say, you have a window, then you don't want a bunch of plants inside your living room or whatever. You want them, in front of the window. So I guess that would be a good for those for that situation, and it would be a good thing. And it could be an indoor, um, or just a simple rack could be constructed. I mean, I guess that's what it really is. And then you could use a ladder to get to it. Doesn't really make a difference besides like having to climb or just push a button like a excavator, or yeah, like the things that move up and down in shopping malls free of charge for people, right? um, that type of concept. um, just trying to see if I'm not forgetting anything, but I don't think I am. I think that was all. See, so yeah, just imagine, you know, like this is what I kind of pictured happening. Um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I guess that's just for it to have water consistently without running dry and killing the plant. But I'm guessing maybe um, just having, I guess just having something with the water always on it will ensure to keep the plants healthy and healthy and nourished at all times. So yeah, seeing that there's a bunch of them, like, and some of these are like you could probably buy them at the Dollar Tree as well. Like there's some in there, I think. You might not, it might not be very good or whatever, but it could be a starting point. And then I was also thinking, oh yeah, I was also thinking the same type of idea, but there's a humming hummingbird feeders, right? Um, these things. So I was thinking, what if it wasn't closed? And I was thinking this when I was flagging as well, and I'm glad that I remembered before closing this video out. I was thinking, what if this thing. Oh, like look at this one. This one's like a perfect one, perfect example because it will collect the rainwater. And I was thinking these could be placed on on trees, um, like in the wild. Um, like in forests. Um, and what this will do is it will give water to all sorts of animals and birds. And if you have a backyard like this, you could hang them up somewhere and you won't have to worry about, you know, adding anything to it. You know, it will just be a, a method to continually give water to lizards and other little insects and other little, you know, birds. And there's little squirrels that run around, and something like this can actually be built, like kind of like the water bowls, because there's cat bowls and there's um, the dog bowls, but you know we never hear anything about a feeder water feeder type of thing for birds or for um, squirrels or for lizards. Besides, you know, you putting something like this outside, so it'll work the same way. It will just stay open like this, maybe with a filter or something, but obviously where they could drink it. Um, and I don't know how that will work, but people could come up with different ways and forms to make it happen. So now, you know, instead of, well, obviously this is a mixture of water and sugar, and that's what attracts the hummingbirds. But what if what if it was just water, just regular water? So if any bird goes there, it'll be pretty much, it'll act like a bird bath, right? So it'll act pretty much like this, where there's water for the birds to go and drink water. But on with the cylinder thing, it will be stored and it'll be specifically, it could be specifically for birds or it could be put in the ground. I don't know. It was just an idea, you know, and there is no right and wrong. You know what I mean? It's just an idea that came to my mind, and people that love birds and other insects and bugs or whatever, and and people that are into that, then this could be something that you know you guys could do, even with like recyclable um, things or containers that are just, I guess, trash, right? It's destroying our planet, right? At least that's what they say. So, or is that just plastic bags? I'm not sure. But yeah, see, like there's stuff like this, which is cool because the lizards and snakes and other things could go and drink water, especially in drought, you know, drought places where it's more required or needed for living things in our backyards or whatever. Um, so yeah. Anyway, it was just an idea. I guess like think about something like this alongside uh, a little birdhouse. So you have a bird house, right? Like no one ever thinks about putting like a little thing of water there for the bird. So I mean, I think it would be pretty cool because if the bird mother, has little babies in there, um, she has to go somewhere and find water and then come back and give some water to each little bird till they're satisfied. Um, unless like they're drinking milk from their nipples or something. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know this stuff, like, I mean, I doubt. I think it's just water. So, see, like, all these are like great. I'm not talking down on anything or anyone. But see, something like this. See how this is just a birdhouse that is connected to the tree. Boom. And it's left there. No one even thinks about it. So, in the same way, with these things, if it's left open so it could collect water somehow, it could also be left there and you could forget all about it. And then when it rains or you happen to walk by and you see it empty, or you're watering your garden and you see it empty, you could spray up there and it will, some of the water will go in there naturally and not into the birdhouse, of course. Um, so yeah, and it doesn't have to be big for these little birdhouses. I mean, how much water can they honestly drink? You know, it just needs like a vein or a little reservoir, maybe 10 ounces of water, 20 ounces of water. It doesn't need a whole gallon. That's way too heavy. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt depending on the size of bird that you're trying to care after. Because there's some birds that are freaking huge. Their wingspans are like as tall as me, and I'm 5'1". You know, so yeah. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you guys like any of these ideas, whatever, you guys can, or I encourage you guys to go to Invent or Don't Invent on Facebook. I also added more ideas there. Um, and yeah, thank you guys for listening. God bless you guys. And the thing I always ask myself is, what are we doing here on Earth? Most of us don't even know the answer to that. We just arrived. We were just born. And we're gonna go. We came with nothing, we're gonna leave with nothing. So, in the process, yeah, everyone has to make money, everyone has to eat. But who's stopping us from helping each other? No one. Besides our own limitations and, reasoning and doubts, whether doubts that arise within ourselves or among others, you know. And that stuff is contagious. It's like a fire. It quickly spreads. So does fear. So does hope. So does all that stuff, you know? So it's because in the Bible, there's a story where God told one of the leaders to send a group of people to spy on the land that God was going to give them, the promised land. And most of them came back with a bad report. But there was just a few number that said we could overcome them. They reported everything they seen, the good stuff. They reported the good and the belief. And that's what God wants. He just wants those few people that will believe. Doesn't matter about the negative, you know. And Moses wasn't even able to enter into the promised land, even though he led the people of God there. So there's a lot of things that we will not understand and that will always be dark in our lives. But I don't know, it just happens for a reason. I don't know, and I guess sometimes we could assume, we could think, we could come up with the different um, possibilities, outcomes, whatever. Especially as an inventor or people that want to think outside the box, right? So um, all I could say is, we just walk by faith and not by sight. And although these ideas are just ideas, I believe that they could play a vital part in our lives and in our futures as a human race, not only here but in everywhere we go, in this life. I guess there is bird watering water feeders. See, it's the same concept. Something that you would see like in a bird cage. See, like that. Something as simple as this can be added to a birdhouse. Even a bird, even if some food, but then it'll attract other birds. So I don't know. But anyway, you guys get the point of all this stuff. I just want to release it, share it. I don't want to pollute my mind and my brain with this stuff. I don't want to patent it. I don't have the money for it. I wish I did. But there's so many patents, so many ideas. And I don't want to patent something that no one will use. I'd rather talk about it. If it works, if people use it, if they apply it in their lives, then great. If they don't, then oh well. You know? It doesn't hurt my feelings either way. It's not going to affect me either way. It might affect us as a human race, but it won't affect me because I lost out or I think I lost out. Like I'm not in this to get rich and to hoard that. If I get rich, it's going to be to bless people and to keep on doing this for the rest of my life and to see potential and to invest in people that need it. and ask for it, right? Because the Bible says to you have not because you ask not. I personally don't want to bug anyone, especially not with money. You know, money is the root of all evil. Let us stay away from that. It's just one more problem that I would have to worry about. And anyway, I don't want to preach to anyone. I will end this video now. Have a great day. Thank you for listening.